Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting of the Council for the Town of Petawawa to order for April 7th, 2025. Welcome to members of Council and staff. We'll start this evening's meeting off with the reading of the land acknowledgement, and this evening it's Councillor Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of the Petawawa Town Council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Omama Wanini Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Omama Wanini people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years, and we wish to acknowledge our shared responsibilities in responding to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission 94 calls to action. Call to action number 48. We call upon the church parties to the settlement agreement and all other faith groups and interfaith social justice groups in Canada who have not already done so to formally adopt and comply with the principles, norms, and standards of the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People as a framework for reconciliation. Recent progress. The church parties to the settlement agreement and all other faith groups and interfaith social justice groups in Canada are responsible for the response to this call to action.
Thank you, Councillor Donovan. And now I'd ask if everybody would please join me for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you very much. Okay, I need a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Moved by Councillor Roots, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sabrin, that the agenda for the April 7th, 2025 regular meeting of Council be adopted. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest on any of this evening's matters? Councillor Driscoll.
Yes, I would like to disclose a pecuniary interest for staff report PL 13 2025. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we have a couple of minutes to approve. First up is the council meeting for March 17th, 2025. I need a motion to approve those minutes. Moved by Councillor Coutu, seconded by Councillor Carmody, that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held March 17th, 2025 be approved as printed and circulated. Are there any questions, comments, concerns? I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Okay, let's jump right into the bylaws. First up, we have bylaw 1742/25, being a bylaw to approve the naming of the Town of Petawawa OPP Detachment Board. I need a motion for the first and second reading of the bylaw. Moved by Councillor Carmody, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sabrin, that bylaw 1742/25, being a bylaw to approve the naming of the Town of Petawawa OPP Detachment Board, be read a first and second time. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Operation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1742/25, being a bylaw to approve the naming of the Town of Petawawa OPP Detachment Board. This constitutes first and second reading of bylaw 1742/25.
I need a motion for third and final reading of bylaw 1742/25. Moved by Councillor Donovan, seconded by Councillor Coutu, that bylaw 1742/25 be read a third and final time and passed. Any questions, concerns on the bylaw? I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 1742/25, being a bylaw to approve the naming of the Town of Petawawa OPP Detachment Board. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 1742/25, the 7th day of April 2025.
Next, we have bylaw 1743/25, being a bylaw to regulate and govern fences and swimming pool enclosures in the Town of Petawawa. I need a motion for the first and second reading of the bylaw. Moved by Deputy Mayor Sabrin, seconded by Councillor Roots, that bylaw 1743/25, being a bylaw to regulate and govern fences and swimming pool enclosures in the town of Petawawa, be read a first and second time. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 174325, being a bylaw to regulate and govern fences and swimming pool enclosures in the Town of Petawawa. This constitutes first and second reading of bylaw 174325.
I need a motion for third and final reading of bylaw 1743/25. Moved by Councillor Coutu, seconded by Councillor Carmody, that bylaw 1743/25 be read a third and final time and passed. Are there any concerns or questions with the bylaw? I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 174325, being a bylaw to regulate and govern fences and swimming pool enclosures in the Town of Petawawa. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 174325, the 7th day of April 2025.
Next, we have bylaw 1744/25, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 174/201 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended. I need a motion for first and second reading of the bylaw. Moved by Councillor Driscoll, seconded by Councillor Carmody, that bylaw 1744/25, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 174/2001 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended, be read a first and second time. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 174425, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 174/2001 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended. This constitutes first and second reading of bylaw 174425.
I need a motion for a third and final reading of bylaw 1744/25. Moved by Deputy Mayor Sabrin, seconded by Councillor Roots, that bylaw 1744/25 be read a third and final time and passed. Any questions on the bylaw? I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 174425, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 174/2001 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 174425, the 7th day of April 2025.
We have no correspondence, so we'll go to the minutes. First up, we have the council and committee meeting minutes of March 24th, 2025. I need a motion to approve those minutes. Moved by Councillor Roots, seconded by Councillor Coutu, that the minutes of the council and committee meeting held on March 24th, 2025 be accepted by council, and that resolutions from that committee become resolutions of council. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Next, we have minutes from the Ottawa Valley Waste Management Board meeting of November 28th, 2024. I need a motion to accept those minutes. Moved by Councillor Roots, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sabrin, that the minutes of the Ottawa Valley Waste Management Board meeting held on November 28th, 2024 be adopted as information. Councillor Roots.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have spoken to council and yourself in regards to all the minutes here. As mentioned, there was the quarterly financial report, a propane RFP, a shredding rebuild RFP as well. But yes, overall was regular business and moving forward. So I will take any questions if there is needed. Thank you.
Any questions on the minutes? Councillor Carmody.
Thank you, Mayor Service. Just a question about the performance bonuses. I was wondering if there's a policy that governs how that happens, or is it tied to performance evaluations? Or
Thank you for the question, Councillor Carmody. Yes, it's based on evaluation of performance. Thank you.
Any further questions on the minutes? Then I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Next, we have the minutes for the Petawawa OPP Detachment Board meeting of January 22nd, 2025. I need a motion to accept those minutes. Moved by Councillor Carmody, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sabrin, that the minutes of the Petawawa OPP Detachment Board meeting held on January 22nd, 2025 be adopted as information. Councillor Carmody.
thank you, Mayor Service. So this was our first meeting of the new year. So at that meeting, I was elected to the position of board chair again. There was a lot of regular, just monthly business. We received the quarterly report from the detachment commander. We set some goals for 2025. And one thing of note of the Police Services Board, one of our members, Ryan McFadden, was posted to Winnipeg, so he'll be leaving the board. So we do have a vacancy on the board, and we'll be advertising for that in the not too distant future.
Questions on the OPP detachment minutes? Congratulations, Councillor Carmody, on your appointment as chair once again. You've been a long time serving chair of that board, I think. Couple of years.
Good job.
Okay, we'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Next, we have minutes from the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Advisory Committee meeting of January 29th, 2025. I need a motion to accept those minutes. Moved by Councillor Coutu, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sabrin, that the minutes of the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Advisory Committee meeting held on January 29th, 2025 be adopted as information. Councillor Coutu.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So these are the minutes from our meeting on January 29th. At that meeting, we engaged in some Pride planning. Looking forward to our event this year, June 13th. It's going to be on the Friday of Civic Center Days. And towards that, we're also engaging in a community Pride planning process. So we've engaged with businesses and some other really engaged community members to try and bring Pride events to the wider community, because there's been a real call for that. So look forward to hearing more about that. We're also looking to, during this meeting, we put some of the finishing touches on our Men's Healing Circle initiative. So we're at the point now where we have the space and the volunteers to help us connect that program with our residents. So you'll start seeing advertisements in the community in the coming weeks, and certainly at Showcase, we'll be advertising that opportunity for residents. We also were discussing the Moose Hide campaign, so that's coming up in May. So we'll be looking to advertise that out in the community and also at Showcase. And then coming up for council, this is something that will be on the April agenda later in the month, but the Local Immigration Partnership has reached out to engage with Petawawa on a municipal project opportunity. So we'll be bringing this, like I said, to the council later this month. And another really exciting thing that I want to give the Deputy Mayor props for really doing a lot of work on is part of our EDI in the community campaign will be a lawn sign project to let residents put, EDI right on their lawns. So come down to Showcase and you'll be able to see a mock-up of what we've got going on, and then residents will be able to come down to Town Hall and for $10 have a sign of their own. So a little bit of cost recovery there, but definitely available. And then the final thing, I know I've said it a few times, but Showcase. So this is the first year that EDI has its own booth. And we spent a bit of time on this meeting looking at what we were going to have for the residents. So I really hope that people will come out, and we're going to have available to residents a lot of our reports, a lot of the things we brought to council, a lot of the initiatives we've worked on, and we're going to have a few interactive opportunities to engage with residents and find out what other projects and initiatives and opportunities that we could bring forward. So that's my report. Thank you for your time, and please ask me any questions you have.
Any questions on the report? Councillor Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to Councillor Coutu. I was very excited to read the little brief in your meeting with regards to the railway to Pikwakanagan, and that we're still waiting on some information, but I was very interested in hearing where that's going to go to. Thanks.
Any other questions on the minutes? I just have a quick question for you about, as I understand it, we have a huge collaboration this year with the garrison. There's going to be one massive celebration instead of two separate ones.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I don't know how to characterize that. More of a linkage maybe this year. I think going forward, that's the goal, to try and create a townwide event. But this year, I think we're going to work harder at linking the two events and having them flow together. The Community Pride Committee includes a member from the garrison. So that's sort of part of that facilitation here, but just to make sure the vision's not have some massive event, but it's going to be a linkage between the two events.
All right, any further questions? I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Okay, next up we have staff report PL 13-2020. Oh, I drew my line in the wrong place. Thanks for all the reminders, helpful reminders. Next, we have the minutes from the Petawawa Business Advisory Network meeting, March 4th, 2025. I need a motion to accept those minutes. Moved by Councillor Roots, seconded by Councillor Driscoll, that the minutes of the Petawawa Business Advisory Committee meeting held on March 4th, 2025 be adopted as information. Councillor Roots.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Once again, I have spoken to these minutes to council and yourself, but something I just want to bring to everyone's attention and our viewers again under new business, the county of Renfrew Think Local campaign, very, very important with all the concerns that are going on in today's world with the U.S. tariffs. We had a very good discussion, and more now than ever, I think it's so important that we support our local businesses here at home in Petawawa and in our county, and make sure that we're doing everything we can to shop local and Canadian. So I just want to bring that to everyone's attention. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on the minutes of the PBAN? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Now I'll put the line there. Okay, now we're going to staff reports. PL-13-2025, Councillor Driscoll. You have a conflict of interest. Okay, so because Councillor Driscoll has a pecuniary interest in this report, he has now left the meeting. So we'll go ahead with PL-13-2025 site plan application 1000961-675 Ontario Incorporated, Petawawa Storage Group, part of Lot 22, Concession 5, being Part 1 on Plan 49R-20836, Water Tower Road. Melanie.
Good evening. So this report is about an application we have for site plan approval for this numbered company. It is one of our lots in the industrial park. It is about 2 acres in size. It's shown on the screen here, the site plan. Basically, it's for a mini storage establishment. It is a pretty straightforward site plan. There are 2 storage buildings, as you can see in the drawing, with the driveway in, gravel surface. The buffered area, the white on the drawing, is the mandatory buffer from the residences in the rear, so there'll be nothing happening in that area. Other than that, like I say, open storage with 2 storage buildings closer to the front. It conforms to the official plan and zoning bylaw. So it's the industrial park is designated industrial, which allows storage, and it's zoned general industrial exception 5, which permits mini storage. It's actually the only general industrial is the only zone that permits mini storage. And the proposed site plan meets all of the zoning provisions of zoning of that zone. The proponent has submitted an offer to purchase the property, but the first step is to have a site plan that everybody's happy with before we go any farther with the purchase. So that would be the next step. If council is okay in principle with the site plan, the next step would be to advertise in the local paper for 3 weeks the notice of surplus land. I will qualify one thing in the report. I mentioned that the development will have hydro but no water or sewer systems. The power is actually going to be solar power, so not connected into hydro. But there are no water or sewage systems. We did circulate the application to various town departments, as noted in the report, and approval would be subject to a site development agreement, which is standard for all our site plans. It's basically a standard template saying you have to build in accordance with the plan that we approve. And it would also be conditional on the purchase of the land going through. And happy to answer any questions.
Questions on the report? Just a question about future development. Is there a plan to, I'm guessing if things go well, is there room or a plan to put further storage buildings?
It is a consideration when the proponent came forward with the interest in the industrial land property. There is interest in 1 or 2 more buildings if things go well.
Any further questions? Okay, if everybody is comfortable, then I need a motion. Moved by Councillor Root, seconded by Councillor Donovan. The council supports site plan approval for 1000961675 Ontario Incorporated Petawawa Storage Group on condition that the owner enters into a site development agreement with the town and the transfer of lands is completed in accordance with the declaration of surplus lands. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Yeah, so we'll now ask Councillor Driscoll to return to the meeting. Thank you, Melanie. Okay, Councillor Driscoll has returned and we'll go to Councillor reports. Deputy Mayor Sabrin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few points. On March 19th, I attended a Police Services Detachment Board meeting. On the 25th, I participated in a coordination meeting for the Lee Warden visit. That'll be occurring here in April. And Mr. Mayor, I'm assuming that you will speak to the parade that will be occurring on the 15th of April, so I won't talk about that. March 26th, I participated in Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee. And going along with what Murray had talked about, buying local and whatnot, please remember our local people in the community who visit the Petawawa Pantry, who suffer or who live with food insecurity issues. And if you can, as a community, donate some time as a volunteer or some food, it would both be gratefully accepted. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Carmody.
Thank you, Mayor Service. Not much to report for this 2-week period. Library board meeting, which I chaired the other day, and I attended the flag raising on April 2nd in honor of World Autism Awareness Day.
Thank you, Councillor Carmody, and thank you for attending the flag raising ceremony for World Autism Day. I was unfortunately out of town that day, so thanks for going on my behalf. Councillor Coutu.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On April 1st, I made a presentation to the PBAN committee, and I had the opportunity to present to them on behalf of the EDI committee the commitment to inclusion program that local businesses will be able to take part in. So that was a great opportunity. Thank you for that. And on April 4th, I attended that same library board meeting with James, and I'll just add, it was our last meeting with outgoing CEO, Lisa Warbeck, and she will be greatly missed. And we also had the opportunity to receive a clean audit, which was great. So thank you. That's my report.
Thank you. So is Lisa Warbeck, is she now left the building? Tomorrow is her last day. Okay. So tomorrow is her last day in the building? Okay.
She's left the building.
Oh.
She hasn't left the valley.
Okay. Hasn't left the valley yet. Okay, thank you. Councillor Driscoll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have nothing to report this time. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report on the 20th of March, I attended the Environmental Stewardship Committee. That's part of the CNL operations, and have since then been able to forward the information to everybody with regards to their Earth Day celebrations. Anybody looking for that information, it would be on their website. On the 31st of March, I attended the Warming Center meeting in Pembroke, which turns out to be the second last meeting of the Warming Center committee as a whole. So they're rolling over with the setup and success between MESA and the Heart Hub program that they have started to implement that is no longer just a warming center. And it looks like majority of the committee will then land with staff throughout the county that will be hosting that. 2nd of April, I attended the Seniors Advisory Committee meeting, and that's it.
Thank you. And as I understand it, the warming center is now becoming, or will become, a year-round operation as part of the Heart Hub funding. And yeah, there's a lot more to report with all the funding the county has received in terms of the Heart Hub and what's next in terms of development to look after our most vulnerable. So lots of good news coming. Councillor Roots.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thursday, March 20th, I attended the Ottawa Valley Waste Recovery Meeting. Main purpose of this forum was a yearly budget update. We had financials and surplus reserve conversations, perpetual care investment update, tonnage and fourth quarter earnings of 224, and the business recap. Also, the new operating partnership of the center is working very well. And as a board, we can continue to monitor and support all business matters of concerns with that. Elections were held for the board members, which I was voted as vice chair of Ottawa Valley Waste Recovery. April 1st, I attended a Petawawa Business Advisory meeting, and topics of interest, we had Councillor Couto, and yes, thank you for coming and sharing all the great ideas of the EDI committee. Also, a business update, logo branding discussion, and we had a planning session for the up-and-coming events such as the Petawawa Rambo, Showcase, and Veteran Business Vendor Expo. So again, lots of planning and exploring new opportunities for this whole committee for the year ahead. It's going to be another busy year here in Petawawa. Festival Hall is busy with a very strong calendar of events for the year ahead. The manager of the facility is adjusting well, Dorian Pierce, and we are constantly working on our business strategy and getting him into the expectations of this group. So we shared a lot of good information. You can also check out all of our events. It's a busy season planned. So you can go on to the website to check out all those events. And you will also see, if you're looking or hearing in the weeks ahead, we're running a summer youth program. I think this is very important, and it's the first for our business. It's something I've been wanting to implement. Sometimes when you're talking theaters in the summer, the theater goes black and they don't host any events. And this is something I've been pushing for. So we are going to be running a youth educational program for entertainment and plays and some culture educational programs. So I think it's very good. So again, I think we're in the right direction with this facility. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Roots. Okay, on my part, on Friday, April 4th, I had a meeting with the base command team, just sort of an update meeting in terms of what's been going on up there and some of the things we've been collaborating on. April 1st, I had a Zoom meeting with the folks from Leeuwarden concerning the Netherlands Liberation Day celebrations, which I am planning to attend. And I just want to let anybody watching out there that it will all be personally financed. There will be no town money supporting my trip to Leeuwarden because they're coming here. The mayor of Leeuwarden is coming here to Petawawa soon. I'll let you know more about that. I will be attending there for 4 days throughout the Liberation celebrations in Leeuwarden. On the 28th, we had a meeting about the trails and the hydro corridors in Petawawa. 27th, I was down in Renfrew for the 5th anniversary celebration for RC VTAC. The Minister of Health, MPP Sylvia Jones, was there to celebrate with us, as was our local MPP, Billy Deneau. So it was quite an impressive celebration, and it's great to see us getting all the support from the Ministry of Health. It looks good in terms of long-term funding going forward for this program. It's something that I think the rest of the province has taken notice of and are starting to emulate across the province. So kudos to everybody that's ever been involved with RC VTAC. On the 26th, I was at a county council meeting, Development and Property and Operations Division. On the 25th, along with Deputy Mayor Sabrin, we did have a Leeuwarden parade meeting with the garrison and town staff. So just to get everybody up to speed, on Sunday, the 13th of April, the Mayor of Leeuwarden and his communications director, as well as two gentlemen from the Netherlands Commemoration Committee, will be coming here to the town of Petawawa. So a 4-person delegation. They'll arrive Sunday the 13th in the evening. And then on the 14th in the morning, they'll be touring the RCD headquarters up on the Garrison. I guess I should say why they're coming here. So it is the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the town of Leeuwarden by the RCD regiment here in Petawawa. And they were based here as well in World War II. So it's the 80th anniversary of that liberation. And every year, no matter where the regiment is, even if they're, on tour in Latvia, here in Petawawa, wherever, they hold a parade on April the 15th to celebrate the liberation of Leeuwarden. So this year, that parade, which is usually held up on the parade square at the RCD building on the Garrison, is now being moved down into the town of Petawawa in the Kinhut parking lot. So the military parade will march from the Civic Center down Volunteer Way into the parking lot, and the parade will be set up there with several armored vehicles. A huge contingent of VIPs will be there as well as 250 local school children will be coming to join us for the parade. And as part of that, we created some historical education materials. The RCDs put one together, and the city of Leeuwarden, along with one of their museums, has put together quite an impressive pamphlet about the history of World War II in their town and the liberation by the RCDs, and how much it meant to them and how much it still means to them to commemorate that liberation. So that will be the parade is on Tuesday morning, the 15th, and members of the public are quite welcome to come and witness that parade. And while the Dutch delegation is here, we're going to give them a real good tour of Petawawa and the Garrison. They'll be visiting several units. We're going to CNL to visit the CNL site and taking them on a little tour of the town of Petawawa as well. So it's all very exciting. First time that we've ever had a visiting mayor from a foreign country, I think. So it's pretty impressive that they're coming here. And we're looking forward to all the festivities on the 14th, 15th, and the morning of the 16th. And I'll just update you quickly about the county, what's going on in the month of March. Some highlights: OVTA Tourism Awards. I think the deadline closes soon. You can nominate individuals, groups, or businesses. There's 6 categories: sustainability, tourism champion, tourism business, tourism event, tourism marketing, and new tourism product. Introduced last month in March at the county was their new program called HYPE, which stands for Helping Your Place Excel. It's basically the county SIP program, Community Improvement Plan. And for I believe it's 8 municipalities in the county that have an existing SIP. If this gets passed, it's actually this Wednesday that it comes before council, the county will match up to 50% of any SIP award that's given out in the town of Petawawa. So if we award $5,000 for a signed CIP grant to a business in Petawawa, we apply to the county, and if the county approves it, they will give $2,500 of that 5, meaning we can take $2,500 and put it back into our reserve account, which will make our SIP plan potentially last twice as long and be able to award twice as many in the town. Now, not every one we put forward is going to get approved, but there is a chance. 15,000 is their maximum that they'll match. 2 interesting things: they're also going to have a climate action SIP and a brownstone SIP for empty lots that need to be redeveloped. We would have to add that to our SIP program in order to be eligible for county matching. So it's something maybe we can look at. The county also approved a climate action committee, a new ad hoc committee for the county. They put together terms of reference, and basically they want to reduce by 20% their greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. And they're also going to promote the same program throughout the county. $2.5 million was approved for Algonquin Trail improvements from here to Bissett Creek. So that means throughout this work season, With that amount of money, we should see the rest of the limestone dust spread between, I think it ends just past Deep River right now, all the way to the Bissett Creek train overpass by the end of this construction season. That's the goal anyways. There is an interesting thing. Mesa has partnered with the University of Western Ontario, and it's a new drug checking initiative. They have this device that they'll take with them in the ambulance, and when they go to the various calls where it's an overdose or some type of mental health issue involving substance, they can take this machine, take the substance, put it in the machine, and it will instantly tell them what it is, how much of each thing is in the drug. And what this does is it helps the police and Mesa and the paramedics determine what is in the drugs here in Renfrew County. So it's an interesting initiative for sure. Okay, and that's what's been going on. All right, next we'll go to a closed meeting. So I need a motion to go into closed. Moved by Councillor Carmody, seconded by Councillor Coutu, that the meeting be closed pursuant to section 239, paragraph 2, paragraph B, and paragraph C of the Municipal Act, 2001 S.O.2001 C.25 is amended to discuss personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, and to discuss a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried.